On today's episode of the Fumblerooski podcast, happy 4th of July. Hope everyone has come down from their Sunday scaries and their hangover from the long weekend. Today we'll be doing our top 5 wide receivers and a preview of the NFC South heading into the 2026 season.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
Welcome to the Fumblerooski podcast, powered by Secret Weapon Consulting. We got CJ, we got Tuck, we got myself, Chris. Happy 4th of July. I hope everyone is coming down from their Sunday scaries. I know I finally am gone away from those, but 4th of July was good for you boys?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I got to see some fireworks.
Hell yeah, brother. I like it. Yeah, I was at a wedding and it was cool. There wasn't like fireworks at the wedding itself, but we were basically on a very elevated view that we could see like a 50-mile radius of where we were at. So we saw lots of fireworks in the distance, which was really fucking cool. Like I would say probably 9 o'clock, 9:30 was when like almost everybody started ripping fireworks at that point. So it was a very good show. Hope everyone enjoyed the fireworks, enjoyed their beers, enjoyed the 250th birthday for America.
Mm-hmm. Congrats, everyone.
And of course, by the time we're recording this, the USA and Belgium will be playing later tonight. So hopefully the Americans with Balogun being reinstated from his red card can get the dub as well.
I'm pulling for the US as well. But before that game, there's the Portugal game.
Oh yeah, that's getting started up in an hour.
That one,
that's
one
gonna be
interesting.
You guys see the England-Mexico game from last night?
Yes.
Oh, cinema.
That was too close. That was really close.
That was a fucking insane game. Insane.
It said 3-1. I thought, oh no, it might be over. But then Mexico scored again. I was like, hold on now. The Brits might bottle it again.
Yeah. Well, true. No, when Harry Kane got that PK, and made it 3-1, I was kind of like, yeah, that might have been it for Mexico. Obviously, they got the PK of their own, but like, soccer's a weird sport. You could be down a man for a whole half hour or 40 minutes or damn near an hour, and you'll probably still only let up the one goal, and it's going to come on a PK, and that's going to be the only opportunity you'll have all game.
Mm-hmm.
That's soccer. Or football, which I love the Monday Night Football memes for the game tonight because it's in Seattle, and 12th man's probably going to be out. Which when the U.S. and Australia played in Seattle during group play, I don't know if you guys saw, there was one of the 2 goals registered an earthquake on the Richter scale.
No, I didn't see that. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was like to the extent of Beastquake, but it was still, there's still some seismic activity. Mm-hmm. So it's good to see that the 12th man registers to soccer as well.
Yep. Bro.
Oh, I love Norway. Norway.
I'm surprised they made it this far. They beat Brazil.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Brazil is in a weird spot because they've had a lot of their younger talent kind of start to fall off a little bit, especially with Neymar just announcing retirement. But yeah. A guy that's probably going to be announcing their retirement pretty soon, Brandon Ayuk. Obviously not going to announce his retirement anytime soon, but the situation with Brandon Ayuk has reached we'll call it a new low. From, I would assume everyone remembers the video that he came out with on his story. I want to say a couple weeks ago to a month ago. I forget. I'm very, very spotty with timelines at this point, especially during the off season. But made a video basically saying that he wanted to play for the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Jaden Daniels is a high promising quarterback that anybody would want to play with.
I think they played together at Arizona State too.
Yeah. So there's now then a video of a 49ers fan or football fan, we'll say, is walking by Jaden Daniels and basically saying, fuck the 49ers or fuck Brandon Ayuk. And Daniels kind of gives him this look of like, yeah, you right. You right. Not going to say it outright, but you right. And then Brandon Ayuk basically said that, hey, you work for me, da-da-da. And basically burning a bridge as soon as it was semi built up, not even. So I feel like that the case of Brandon Ayuk playing football in the year 2026 may be pretty low again. But for some reason, San Francisco's just keeps holding out hope for him. I don't know what it is, but
I don't even know where to begin with this story.
Yeah.
I want to see him on the field again because I want to know if he's still that wide receiver that we know him he could be. If he's not, then quite frankly, there's nothing to talk about here. But it's this weird place, like they're stuck in limbo. Like the 49ers have been trying to get rid of him, but they can't, so they're stuck with him, and they're stuck with the contract they have. Granted, sooner or later, it has to get to the point where it's like, he's not worth this headache. Let's just get rid of him. And he's quickly reaching Antonio Brown levels of, we need to get rid of him. Damn the consequences. But until they feel it necessary, they're kind of stuck with him. They can't trade him. No one in the league is going to give up anything of value for him. They don't know what he looks like. He just came off an injury a year ago, and he still hasn't played. He's more troubled. The perception is more trouble than it's worth from the Instagram videos, him speeding past the stadium on his way home, I assume. It doesn't seem like a good situation right now for the 49ers, for Brandon Ayuk, or any team that wants to trade for him. They don't know what they're getting. They know they're getting a headache and probably don't want to deal with it or help the 49ers at all. So that's the situation. I don't see anyone trading for him right now, just based upon the videos and not knowing what they're going to get on the field as far as production. Don't know what a value they can give them because, again, have nothing to look at. And so it's just limbo. And until someone bites, Brandon Ayuk is stuck until either his contract expires, the 49ers just say, F it, leave, here's all your money, or a team trades for him, damning the consequences because they need weapons.
Yeah. And looking at his contract real quick, he's currently still on his like rookie extension, which was a 4-year, $120 million extension that he got.
Yep.
From 2024 to 2028. So by 2029, he'll be a free agent. He'll be 31 by then. And looking at just like cap hits in general, for this year, he's in at a 13.6 mil cap hit and a 33.6 mil dead cap.
Yeah.
They do have a potential out on him for 2027, but the cap hit at that point is going to be 41 mil and 21 mil in dead cap,
which might be crippling depending on who they want to sign.
Yeah. Well, just in general, just looking at Ayuk and how everything has gone, that's right now we're looking at a really, really bad contract that, as you mentioned, no one's going to want to trade for. So I guess you gotta figure out a way to be able to just live with eating the cap money, I guess. But another thought that I had, and CJ, I'll let you go after I make this thought. If it gets bad enough, could we see Ayuk being a training camp preseason cut?
Possibly.
I don't know. it's not all. It happens, but I'm not sure if it'd be a good idea for them to lose him for nothing. But they might not have a choice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was just going to say, honestly, I think Ayuk getting cut is probably the most likely scenario here. I mean, he won't even show up to the building. The only time he is in any sort of proximity to Levi's Stadium is when he's speeding by it on his Instagram Live. That's it. Like that's literally it. That is all he does. Like, oh my God, like it's so frustrating too. And I hope the irony isn't lost on anybody about his big contract dispute. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So he was drafted in 2020. He was okay then and 21. He has first 1,000-yard breakout year in 2022, followed up with a similar performance in 23. And then that offseason, there was the big Brandon Ayuk trade saga about how he wanted out. And there were other teams like I think Pittsburgh and New England were sniffing around him. And it was a matter of if not when he got traded, only for the Niners to cave and give him what he wants. And then, are you ready? And then in 2024, he plays a whopping 7 games, where literally over 7 games, he amasses 25 catches for 374 yards and no touchdowns, while being targeted 47 times, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
And and then he got hurt. And then even though it was a relatively early season injury, he didn't come back. He didn't play at all last season. And now he's out here making demands again. Look, I'm going to be real. I think the Niners screwed up by offering him that extension. You should have just offloaded him somewhere else, frankly. Because when you're a wide receiver who's forget position, any player who's willing to do all this nonsense for a new contract, that I don't care if you don't have any leverage, that player is a head case, and you're actually best suited letting said player walk. Oh, no, but the Niners just had to get him back, and it completely and utterly bit them in the ass. And as of now, I don't even know if they can cut him. He won't show up to the building. He's done. He's essentially cut, but don't tell him that, because he thinks he's actually cut. He's like, oh, I'm going to go play with the Commanders. No, you're still a member of the 49ers, and nothing can happen. You can't even ask for a release because you won't go to the building. It's the dumbest stalemate in NFL history. And like I said, after that whole offseason temper tantrum about getting an extension, he pulls this stuff after getting what he wants. Hell, even if he was cut, what team would want him? I mean, maybe the Commanders, but I highly doubt it. I mean, I don't even know if he's worth taking a flyer on. Because I'm not going to lie. Are you going to, even if it's a vet minimum, is he really worth it? The headache for a guy who's coming off a horrible injury, hasn't played in well over a calendar year, and on top of that, if that were not enough, no Pro Bowls, no All Pros, no major accolades, nothing. This is, we keep talking about, high risk, high reward, whatever. No. This is high nuclear code black level risk to literally no reward, zilch in the upside whatsoever.
Yeah. And immediately as soon as he got that contract extension too, those first few games, he was dog shit, and he still was dog shit up until he got injured again. And I remember too, when the, early in the off season, when they were talking about Brandon Ayuk, the whole reason with him driving by the stadium and all that, a lot of that was just more or less kind of attributed to frustration over a setback in the injury, which is why he ended up missing the entirety of this past year. And now it's accumulated to this, and now it's like you can't even rule it out to frustration that you had a setback. You have an issue. He has a problem. Does he need help? Maybe. I don't know. But either way, it's shitty. Speaking of the Commanders, they signed Rasul Douglas to a 1-year deal.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's 30. Signed with the Dolphins and played 15 games last year. Began the season behind Jack Jones and Storm Duck. Inserted himself in the starting lineup after Duck had an injury, and he established himself as a top cornerback for the team by the season end. So,
good for him.
Yeah, I mean, if the Commanders are going to try to get younger on defense, this isn't exactly the way to go, getting a 30-year-old corner, but Rasul Douglas has been on teams that have made playoff runs, so he's got playoff experience.
Yep, and he has experience that can teach the younglings. That can teach indeed. CJ, any thoughts?
No, not really. It's a good signing.
Yeah, not bad at all. Do you guys see Caleb Williams gifted the Pope with a autographed jersey?
Yeah, I saw that.
No, I did not see that, but I guess congrats to the Pope. Didn't know he was such a Bears fan.
Oh, yeah, he's a Chicago guy, man.
Didn't know he was that biased, but okay.
He's a Bears and a White Sox
from
fan.
Chicago. Like this is our American Pope you're talking about.
I know what he'll be praying for when he's down at the Vatican. Oh man. If Chicago wins a Super Bowl, I won't even be mad at them. I'll be mad at the Vatican for allowing this to transpire.
Yeah. I don't think. Okay.
Jersey was gifted through Williams' Caleb Cares Foundation, and was presented to the Pope by Brian Birch, the U.S. ambassador to the Holy See, on July 4th. And subscribed to his number 18 with AMDG, which stands for Ad Majorem Dei Gloriam, a Latin phrase that translates to "for the greater glory of God," which is also a nod to his high school, Gonzaga College High School, which was founded by the Jesuits in 1821.
Congrats to the Pope.
There's your fun religion segment for the day. Tuck, I can imagine this story was kind of a weird one from the last week. The Calais Campbell and his brother murdering their mother story.
That is a crazy one.
Yeah, unbelievable. And reading through the ESPN report, unfortunately, it seems like it's a bad mental health issue that his brother ended up with. Have you seen it, the entirety, Tuck?
From my understanding is that his mother died, and the prime suspect has to be his brother, and that he has a condition like a mental illness. And it's not looking very good right now. It's looking very bad.
Yeah. Basically, to round it up, according to a police incident report, sister of Ciari Campbell called police on April 24th and said her brother was inside the house and had started a fire to rid the house of the demons. So we're send all of our gracious prayers to the Campbell family during this trying time.
Yep.
Never want to see shit like that. Yeah.
No.
Congratulations to Travis Kelce marrying Taylor Swift in the most performative wedding you've ever seen in your life. And Chris Johnson we talked about it. We talked about it last week. Let's bring back the Ice Bucket Challenge. Chris Johnson's trying to do just that.
Yep, slowly but surely, more and more people are doing it. And they got married at Madison Square Garden. That just...
You see the Swifties that were waiting outside on like the sidewalk, and they were like, "Yeah, we were waiting for our invite." Shut the fuck up.
An invite? Oh man.
You know, these parasocial relationships with celebrities are, I believe, causing the decay of our country. I won't lie to you. Like, Chris, like, I was waiting for my invite. She doesn't know you. Like, what? Kind of like when the rapper Megan Thee Stallion, who was dating the NBA player Klay Thompson, got cheated on. They're like, oh my God, we're going to leave our boyfriends for Megan, said her fans.
What?
It's like, whoa, what? There was once a study somewhere that said that obsession with celebrities is a sign of a low IQ. I do believe these individuals prove it. That's not hate. It's just a study show. I'm just saying.
I think the most hilarious part about the Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson thing was like, Megan Thee Stallion made Klay famous. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I think cheating's wrong and he shouldn't have done that. But we can also be truthful. It's like, oh, she made him. Like, nah. And you know.
Yeah.
Man had 60 on 11 dribbles. We knew about Klay.
Got 11 dribbles.
On 11 dribbles.
We
He
knew
had 30 in the third quarter.
Yeah. Also, who could forget? I'm just gonna say it. There's this video of some British woman. She's like an influencer. That's like, well, the thing is, Megan Thee Stallion made Klay famous. It's like, you're British. What do we care what you think? You don't know ball. Like, you actually, literally, being from over there, don't know ball. Basketball, that is. Yeah. But the whole thing, but back to the whole Taylor Swift thing, like, well, yeah, congrats to Taylor and Travis for getting married. Like, I hope they're happy together. I hope it works out. I wish them nothing but the best. But like, the people waiting out there, like, oh my God, I was waiting for my invite. Like, I hope you're able to find that fulfillment in your own life. Don't live vicariously through celebrities. Live through yourself. Live for yourself. And that's not even me to them. That's me to everyone. Like, come on. We got to live for ourselves here, fam. That's just the way it is. I'm just the messenger, but you got to live for yourselves.
I'm trying to imagine one of them actually did get an invitation. It just got lost in the mail.
That'd be funny, but I don't quite believe it's how it works.
Yeah,
But
maybe it's. I'm about to turn into a really shitty person real quick, but maybe it was a lesser fortunate fan that actually was getting invited, and nope. You don't have your invite. Sorry, pal. Get the fuck out of here.
Also, speaking of celebrities, I know we don't want to turn to TMZ, but you see all the athletes showing up to Michael Rubin's white party?
No, I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
The reason I ask, all right.
I saw nothing about that white party.
Well, yeah, it was a thing that happened. It wasn't as big as like when it happened last year, but like, cause it was something that a lot of people were finally catching on about. Am I the only one that gets very weird vibes from that?
No, you're not the only one.
Look, once again, this is my opinion. I'm not saying it's true. You cannot sue me should anyone hear this. It just gives me the weirdest vibes, like some Illuminati eyes wide shut type of shit. You know what I mean? Like there is now I'm not going to say, that perhaps it is a Diddy style party, but it would not surprise me. Once again, I'm not passing this off as fact, just my own 2 cents.
Well,
my opinion.
I think it's definitely interesting when you have the main discourse is who is this weirdo that's trying to take over the Diddy party, essentially, like because that was Diddy's thing, was the white parties, which oddly enough, have you guys ever seen Winning Time, the Lakers show?
Oh, you hold on, time out. No, I've seen parts of it, but not the show itself. I thought you were talking about the other one, like the Clippers one with.
Oh, not that one. No, that's a different title. I forget what the title of that one is.
It would not be called Winning Time.
I think that one was actually called Clipped, to be honest.
Yes.
Okay.
There's Jerry Buss, the deceased owner of the LA Lakers. There's a scene where he actually was holding white parties himself. And like it's actually kind of a funny scene because Magic shows up. He shows up in this pink shirt, and he invites the whole team, da da da. But he shows up in this pink shirt, and the butler or the security guy or whatever comes up and he's like, "Sorry, sir, this is a white party." And Magic's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You saying I can't come in because I'm black? No, brother, you don't got a white shirt on." So they ended up giving him a white shirt, and the rest of the scene pursues. But that's always going to be like kind of a funny scene, in my opinion.
Oh, that's funny, but like once again, that whole Michael Rubin thing, that just doesn't sit right with me. Something about that whole thing seems off.
Yeah,
to me, just my opinion.
It's not a bad opinion to have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's move on. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into our top 5 receivers and a preview of the NFC South. This is the Fumblerooski podcast.
It may not have always showed it in the stat sheet, but you can see him making throws when he needs to make the throws.
Back-to-back games where he has 3 touchdowns. Someone's got to get that 6 or 7 spot.
He's an elite wide receiver as a rookie.
Truly a lose-lose scenario for both sides.
All right. Top 5 wide receivers in the NFL.
Alrighty.
I think last year we had like the same exact top 5.
Mine has changed.
Yeah.
Same, but I feel like no matter who you are, where you fall on this issue, there are 4 that are locks, and the top 4 are locks. 5 you can go any which way.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of receivers that could be on this list, and I wouldn't give you too much pushback.
Yeah, there's a lot of receivers that could be considered top 5, top 10 as well. A lot.
I went
Chuck,
first last time.
Do you have a list?
I went first last time. I was hoping you would start.
Yeah, CJ, you want to go first?
All right, fine. I'll buy you guys some time. Cool. Very nice. All right, so
Thanks.
off the bat, my number 5, give me Amon-Ra St. Brown. I understand that he's coming off he's not coming off a down year. The Lions are coming off a down year. Amon-Ra St. Brown, God bless him. He did his job. He did. He was very productive. Last season, he had 117 catches, 1,401 yards, along with 11 touchdowns. So, yeah, safe to say, he handled his business. The rest of the teams couldn't get their heads out of their collective asses. So, quite unfortunate in my own eyes. So, that's my number 5. And now my number 4, this is where I feel like they're all, locks for the top 5. Can't believe I'm about to say this. You guys are about to drag me over hot coals for this. But I got to speak my truth here, kids. My number 4 is Justin Jefferson. All right, hear me out.
All right.
Last season he was fine, 84 catches, a little over 1,000 yards, only 2 touchdowns. His QB proof reputation, I said this last episode, you guys disagreed, but I will say it again. The whole thing about, he's quarterback proof. Is he, though? Because I'm not going to lie, J.J. McCarthy did his damnedest to make him suck. I mean, a career low in touchdowns, career low in yards per catch. The only reason he's still here is because, Kyler Murray can at least function like a quarterback, unlike 9. So yeah, but don't get me wrong, though. He's an absolute beast. All right. Well, let's be honest. That guy's a monster. So he's top 5 regardless. Putting up those numbers with 9 is still pretty noteworthy. So let's cut him some slack. My number 3, give me the man himself, Mr. You have been banned from the chat, Puka Nacua. Puka last year led the league in catches and I believe in first downs receiving with 129 catches, 80 first downs receiving, and with a career high 1,715 yards and 10 touchdowns. With a handcuff in Devontae Adams. Now, he does some iffy stuff off the field, but on the field, oh boy, that guy is dangerous. And I expect him to do it again, especially now that old Devontae Adams is a little older. Puka is going to keep on keeping on, as the kids say. And he's definitely going to carve more touches for himself, or catches for himself. And some people might say what's coming next is blasphemy. I don't care. My number 2 is reigning offensive player of the year, Jackson Smith-Njigba. He led the league last season in receiving yards with 1,793. He had 10 touchdowns and 119 catches. JSN, man, he's here. He has arrived. He's established himself as a top 5 wide receiver, arguably the best pure route runner in the game. He's not the biggest. He's not the fastest, but the routes are just beautiful to see. And I'm not going to lie, though, Emerald City Route Artist is sincerely one of the pure, just worst nicknames I've ever heard in my life. But that's not a JSN thing. I just call him JSN because it's so cool. It's cleaner. It rolls off the tongue better. I love JSN. I do. But my number 1, Tuck, I'm very sorry. You're going to hate
this. Don't
is Jamar Chase of the Bengals.
Oh, Lord.
The man had 1,412 yards and 8 touchdowns on 125 catches without Joe Burrow. So this guy, year in and year out, with a quarterback who has some severe injury problems, is still giving defenses straight belt to ass. I mean, you know who Chase is. He's been in the league for 5 years now. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's a 2-time All-Pro. This guy is an absolute beast. And the more I look into his numbers, and especially what he's been able to do without Joe Burrow and with the handcuff and T. Higgins, is nothing short of amazing. Jamar Chase is, in my eyes, the best receiver in the league.
Okay.
Real quick on the nickname thing.
I know that paints you, Justin.
It's not a Emerald City Route Runner is not a bad nickname, but I think the issue is that
it's ridiculous. Dude, I know Seahawks fans. I have friends with Seahawks fans that think it's just silly. That's what they say. I know Seahawks fans that do not like it, and it's all right, it's a little silly, it's a little corny, it's a bit of a mouthful. But and here's the thing: coming from a guy, look, even though the Patriots lost the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, I love JSN. I really do. I'm a huge fan of his game. Loved him in the pre-draft process coming out of Ohio State. I just think he deserves a better nickname. I really do.
I think the issue is that all the good nicknames are already taken. And that, I don't know if you've noticed this, but just throughout sports in general, every single person's nickname is basically their initials, basically from 2010 onward.
True. Unless you're, unless you're Drake May, or just his nickname is his full name.
True. All right, Tuck, give me a.
Back when Mike Thomas was in his prime, Can't Guard Mike was his nickname.
That was
a solid nickname.
Oh yeah, and Megatron too. But if we're talking just the majority, the majority is just their initials.
Yeah, but RG3 was so smooth.
RG3, that was nice.
Yeah.
Also, you gotta give some love to the GOAT, TB12, the alliteration there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, they try to do it to other players, and it's weird. The Bills fans try to do it for Josh Allen. Oh, JA-17. What the hell? That sounds like a fighter jet, not a quarterback. Bills fans, let JA-17 die. Winter Soldier is a much cooler nickname for him. Roll with that.
JA-17, but saying it sounds like the name of a fighter jet, though. Doesn't that make it cooler?
But no, because he's not as cool as that. Look, as a guy who respects Josh Allen's game, come on, fire jet, man.
But sometimes it works, like Alvin Kamara. AK-41 is a cool ass.
That is sick. That is.
Well, yeah, AK-4 already. You're one number away from pure greatness, but JA-17, it doesn't.
What about Austin Reeves? AR-15 is solid.
That is a different sport.
But no,
because an AR-15 is a real thing. And what about what's his name? If you want to go basketball, there's another dude was Austin Kirilenko or whatever, some big Russia guy who wore number 47. His name was literally AK-47.
AK-47. Andrei
No.
Kirilenko.
But you guys get what I mean, though. Every single nickname has something to do with the guy's initials at this point. Like
Okay, well, yeah.
it has not like that. It's not like I'm gonna terrible nickname, but the anomaly for Jason Tatum, like it's nothing that's like that.
Is
It's
that
cool,
even a
though.
good nickname for him?
No, it's not. The anomaly, as a Celtics fan, not a great nickname. I like calling him the anomaly just for jokes. I still love Jason Tatum. He's my favorite player, but
Honestly, it's better than his other nickname.
what, JT?
No, they call because his son's name is Deuce sometimes, and Tatum's
Big
his
Deuce.
father, they call him Big Deuce, which I'm sorry. As a Celtics fan, I can't get behind that. I just can't. If I had a child that was named after me and someone, like, oh, CJ Jr., and they would
Yeah.
say something like, oh, what's up, Big Deuce? I would beat that person within inches of their life. Like that's not a nickname. That's an insult.
Yeah, just call me like Big C or something at that point.
Big C. All right.
Isn't that a name for cancer?
Is it?
Is
Yeah,
it?
Big C.
Oh, I don't know. But
I
or
heard
just
that
call him
Family
Big J.
Guy might not be sterling information.
I don't know. Like my cousin is a junior, and they call his dad Big B.
They don't call
Of
me Big
course.
C.
Big B, little B.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's literally, apparently, Big C is literally like a show starring Laura Linney as a teacher diagnosed with terminal melanoma,
That's not
which
the
is
same.
cancer. So yeah. So like literally, Big C, don't call me that either. Christ.
All right, Tuck. What's your top 5?
All right. Honorable mention. I actually thought really hard about this. I can't put CD. I mean, not CD. George Pickens numbers in top 5. He's 6. He's solid. He took a big step. He actually looked better than he's ever been, but unfortunately, I don't think he's better than everyone else on this list.
He's finally in an offense that lets him fucking
Yes.
float, lets him fly.
Mm-hmm.
He's a
All right.
peacock. He's finally peacocking.
But they won't pay him. They won't feed him.
Which seems he's
Did
not.
last season.
Seems like he's really doesn't have a big problem with not getting paid the money he wants, at least for this year.
Fair enough. Hopefully they get him eventually, but if
I
it's
think they
not a
will.
big deal, he's number 6 right now. Now he could move up depending on how this season goes for my number 5 entry, but unfortunately, CJ is right. Justin Jefferson is number 5 in my list. Now, granted, it has nothing to do with him, and quarterback proof is still on the thing for me. I don't care what CJ says about what whatchamacallit JJ McCarthy was trying to do. He got the damn job done. He got 1,000 yards. Look at his quarterback carousel. It has never DeAndre Hopkins at his worst never had to deal with what he's going with Justin Jefferson is dealing with in Minnesota. What was the quarterback's name? The New England legend? You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Max
Brosmer.
Yes.
UNH.
UNH legend. And yet you guys are trying to tell me that DeAndre Hopkins had to deal with that. And then 9. Not
TJ
JJ
Yates,
McCarthy,
Tom Savage.
9.
Come on now.
He's number 5, but it has nothing to do with him. He just has bad quarterback play. And oh my God, if Kyler Murray plays worse than those two, I demand a trade by week 8. I'm not dealing with this. But right now, Justin Jefferson is 5. Nothing to do with him, just the situation he finds himself in. Number 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was one of the light spots in a very, I wouldn't say bad season, just a very injury-riddled season for the Detroit Lions. 1,400 yards, what'd you say, 11 touchdowns? He produced when he needed to. He was one of the best players on the team, was reliable for Jared Goff. He showed once again that he is a qualified, bona fide top 5 wide receiver. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Number 3, I will say this again. This is where he belongs. Jamar Chase is number 3, and he's not going any further. He is great. He is fantastic. I'm not saying underrated, but his season is better than what I thought it was. But I don't think he had a better season than the 2 in front of him. That's just the way it was. His season wasn't better. His the performance of the team wasn't better. His stats aren't even better. And I understand you want to say, but he didn't have Joe the whole season. So we're not giving the same grace to Justin Jefferson.
Because Jamar Chase actually has a quarterback to throw to him. Jefferson does not.
So shouldn't that go more towards Jefferson since he has bad quarterback play?
And so did Chase, and Chase put up better numbers.
Chase did not have as bad quarterback play as Justin Jefferson. I'm not letting you get away with that.
Okay, cool.
Let's save the debate. Let's just save the debate for when my top 5 comes around, to be honest, at this rate.
Okay, fair enough. Number 2, Puka Nacua. He's definitely not top 5 off the field.
No.
On the field, however, very different. He is, without doubt, one of the best receivers in the game, and his connection with Matthew Stafford is unbelievable. Even though the catch against Atlanta was incomplete, the mere fact that catch almost got completed and almost put them in field goal range was unbelievable. I'm impressed by the things he was able to do. That catch he had against the Carolina Panthers with Michael Jackson, cornerback from Carolina, all over him and still made a play on that ball. Ridiculous. I think his contested catch ability is unreal, especially for a guy his size. And he's a touchdown machine. I just think there was one more that had a better season than him, and just overall performance and team-wise. And it's JSN, Justin Jackson Smith-Njigba from Seattle. He's the best receiver in the NFL right now. Had the most yards, had the better team success, had the just better overall season. That doesn't mean he will stay number 1. I don't think overall he's the best receiver. But if we're talking about for this season going forward, I see it as him being number 1 and everybody else below him right now. Now, I could definitely see this changing with this top 5. But right now, JSN is number 1.
Nice. Good top 5s. Good top 5s.
Thank you.
For my top 5, I'm also going to start out with Monra. Normally, I'd probably put CD in my top 5, I think, if it wasn't for the injuries. And George Pickens, of course, too, is right on the cusp of that as well, having a career year. George Pickens, I just don't think is top 5 just yet. And CD, just best availability is availability, or best ability is availability. And despite missing 3 games, he still put up great numbers. But anyways, and even if he played in those extra 3 games, he still wouldn't have cracked 100 catches, most likely, unfortunately. He would have had to get 25 catches in 3 games, which is pretty hard to do. Unless they just force fed him the fucking ball. But anyways, Monra St. Brown, not much else to say. He had his best season, 117 catches, 1,400 yards, 11 tugs. Basically, outside of Jahmyr Gibbs, he was probably the only bright spot on the team or really the rest of the offense, I should say. But moving on to number 4. Number 4, I'm going to go with JSN. I know he was Offensive Player of the Year. This obviously is his best season. I want to see if he can basically do the same thing next year, and maybe I'll put him in top 3. But when it comes to my top 2, though, it's pretty much the same guys at this rate. But moving on to 3, I'm going with Puka as well. Definitely a better football player than he is a person. And I mean, when think about how he played with Devontae Adams as essentially the number 2. Unbelievable stuff. 129 receptions, 1,700 yards. He was led all receivers in Yak. Real quick, he was the 2 guys that led in Yak this year, by the way, were running backs, Christian McCaffrey and Bijan. Christian McCaffrey had 720. Bijan was the only receiver skill guy that had 800 Yak yards. That's kind of just that was basically just me hammering my point about Bijan being the number 1 running back. But anyways, My top two is going to be Jamar and Jetta's. Jetta's going to be my number 2 because of, shit quarterback play, but I truly believe that Justin Jefferson is still a top 2 receiver, regardless of who's throwing him the football. And I'm more on the fence of if he's a quarterback receiver, to what you guys are arguing. And I do think that him getting 84 catches for a little over 1,000 yards still impressive in that right. I did make the point that with the shit quarterback play, he's basically just 32-year-old Stephon Diggs, which the numbers will not lie to you on that either, because Diggs had 1 more reception, 35 less yards, and 2 more touchdowns. So I'm not that far off. With also Diggs getting 39 less targets, by the way. But I think that when you still put Jetta's side by side with a lot of these receivers, he is still a top 2 receiver. And then Jamar Chase, of course, is my number 1, putting up 125 catches for 1,400 yards while also being second amongst receivers in YAC is still insane to me. He's still a big play guy that's going to be able to put up points for your team. That's my top 5. So I guess I'm more on the fence on the Jettas being a quarterback receiver, but I guess this makes me more on the Tuck side of the argument than I am the CJ argument. But I don't know.
I literally never said he was a quarterback receiver. I just said the narrative that he is a quarterback proof just may or may not have taken a hit. That's all.
No, I agree with that. It definitely took a hit, but in my opinion, he's still top 2. And I think the last 2 years I've had the rotation of Jettas and Jamar as 1 and 2. So there's 3 in a row for me.
I can't be mad at the list because I want to believe it, but the stats indicate Jettas can't be top 5. And the stats indicate, regardless of how good Jamar Chase looked, he didn't look better than Puka or JSN last year. I can't just do that. As much as I believe in Jettas and Chase, I can't just put them 1 and 2 unanimously just because I know how great they can be and ignore everyone else's production.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that if Jettas has another season like he just had, I will probably be more willing to move him out of top 2. I think that you can just argue that Jamar, even though he had freaking old man Joe Flacco still throwing the ball, when he gets the ball thrown to him, he's more than likely going to come down with it. And yeah. All right. Anything else in regards to top 5 wide receivers?
No.
Cool.
Nope.
Let's move on to the NFC South. The only division where you really cannot predict who the fuck's going to win the division ever in your life. We'll start from the bottom. Probably the team that we thought was going to be the worst team in the league, which was the New Orleans Saints, ended up being one of the more fun teams with the most that shows a lot of promise going into this season. They finished last year 6-11. They were a minus 77 point differential, but in terms of, offensively, passing yards wise, Tyler Shuck was able to roam pretty free. They were middle of the pack in passing yards. They weren't a good rushing team. And they were middle of the pack in terms of points against. And year 1 of Kellen Moore ended up being pretty solid. It's definitely going to be interesting. This is the improvement year now. Can you get yourself to be above 6 wins at this rate? You added Travis Etienne, which was a big add. Devon Valley as a number 3. Cameron Jordan's back as well. Yeah. So I see a lot of improvements in the Saints this year. A lot, especially, offensively, they improved too. Jordan Tyson going 8 overall from ASU. Christian Miller out of Georgia. Wasn't a was a pretty good draft. So I think they're set up pretty good for the 2026 season.
I want to believe in the Saints, but I need to see more out of Tyler Shough before I'm like convinced. Travis Etienne will hopefully help put some of the pressure off of him. And Jordan Tyson is a good quality receiver that they desperately need right now to be opposite of Chris Olave. That defense, maybe. I want to believe in it, but I'm not sure now. Cameron Jordan's not getting any younger, so you have to ask yourself, how much does he have left? You have to do that every year now because he's at that age. But it's the NFC South, so I could see them winning the NFC South, weirdly enough, just based on how bad the division was last year.
Yeah, I mean, your division champ was 8-9, but three teams were 8-9, and like the funniest part about it is that the Atlanta Falcons were also 8-9, and they were eliminated like 3 weeks prior, and literally all they had to do was just do better down the stretch, win a couple more games, and they're right there to have a playoff spot.
Yep.
CJ?
The Saints improved a lot this offseason. Obviously, you mentioned guys like Travis Etienne and Devon Villay. That's cool, but they poached David Edwards, the guard from the Bills, on a 4-year deal. They got Caden Ellis and Cameron Jordan back. They got Noah Fant at tight end, John Ridgeway, defensive tackle, on a 2-year deal. That's pretty good. But this draft class, ooh boy, this was a good one here. Let me tell you, my fellow Americans. So off the rip, you mentioned Jordan Tyson. That's cool. Round 2, Christian Miller, defensive tackle from Georgia. Now, look, we all know those Georgia defensive tackles are built different. Don't give them the keys, but you can let them run wild on the field all he wants.
Yep.
Speaking of Georgia, you got Georgia tight end Oscar Delp in the 3rd round. That I bet he's going to be a good little safety blanket there for Mr. Shuck. The 4th round, you got Auburn guard Jeremiah Wright and North Dakota State Bryce Lance, who is the brother of quarterback Trey Lance, and hopefully his career ends up better. You got Lorenzo Styles Jr., DB from Ohio State in round 5. Round 6, Barian Brown, wide receiver from LSU. They triple dipped at wide receiver in the draft, for those of you keeping track at home. And, of course, you get Iowa DB TJ Hall in the 7th round. This is a really nice draft class, and I think they're putting together a good team. I don't think they're contenders just yet. This is another, improvement year. Not just from Kellen Moore, because I think Kellen Moore is a good coach, and I believe when he was hired, he was told that he has a bit of a long leash because the Saints knew that they were in cap hell and stuff, and it's going to be a long, arduous road back. However, let me tell you, my iffiness is with Tyler Shough. I'm not writing him off, but I need to see more, and I think he can do it. I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be a big year, too, for Tyler Shough, to say the least. We saw what he was able to do tail end of last year. Now he's going to have a full 17 in front of him to really show what he's made of. And I think there's a lot of believers in Tyler Shough. I'm a believer in Tyler Shough. Can he get this team above 6 wins? Over, under 6.5? Over.
You know what? Give me the over.
I'm going with the over. I say they get 8 or 9 wins. Tuck?
Over. I think they might get 10. I think they might get 9 or 10.
I think ceiling.
This team, this division, this damn I'm going 9. Yeah, I can see them getting 9. I'll take the over.
I like it. I like the over here.
9.
Moving on to the Falcons, one of the 3 teams that finished 8-9. They ended the year on a 4-game winning streak. The big story for them is who's going to start at quarterback, either Michael Penix or Tua Tagovailoa. Tua or Penix? Penis. Tua or
Huh?
penis? What?
Children.
Also, one thing that I wanted to bring up while we were doing top 5 receivers was who we thought would be a front runner to crack the top 5 for this year, and one of my guys was going to be Drake London. But that really depends on if he can stay healthy and what type of quarterback play we'll get from either Penix or Tua this coming season. Another one I was going to throw was AJ Brown, but anyways, yeah, really, it's this season's going to come down to quarterback play because when you look at the rest of the team's pretty good. The rest of the team's pretty good.
Yep.
They just, especially the run game, they were top 10 in rushing yards this year, thanks to Bijan. Everything else, they were kind of middle of the pack, but I think if you get some good quarterback play this year, then this is a team that's going to win the division.
Here's my thing. They have everything around them to be very competitive in not just the NFC South, just in the NFC period. Now, granted, this is going to depend on a lot of things, but based upon how they played last year, if they could just bottle some of that up this year, I think they could be very good as far as like making the playoffs. They have 2 pass rushers on the end, James Pierce Jr. and Javon Walker. Now, if James Pierce Jr. can stay on the damn field, this won't be a problem. But again, that's a huge if. They have 2 safeties I really like in Jesse Bates and Xavier Watts. They have quality all around them. AJ Terrell and then his younger brother, Avion Terrell, I believe. That defense is solid. That offense has weapons. Bijan, they have Brian Robinson, they have Darnell Mooney, they have Drake London. Do they still have Darnell Mooney, right?
No.
No.
They have quality is what I'm getting at. I really thought they still had him, but
Basically, the top 3 is Drake London, Jahan Dotson, and Olamide Zacchaeus.
Jahan Dotson. All right, I can work with Jahan Dotson. I don't think he's bad. He's just moved around a lot. But Jahan Dotson and Drake London makes up a decent wide receiver 1-2 duo. But it really will all come down to whether or not Penix or Tua can summons it up once more and be the quarterback that they need to run this offense. Can
we play the penis game?
No,
it's my favorite. It's my favorite game.
Hey, yo, calm down.
The point is, if we don't get competent quarterback play out of these 2 individuals, either or, this team isn't going very far. This team could either go 11-6, 12-5, or if the quarterback play is bad, 3-14, 4-13. One of those type of things. They can either go very far or very low. And so I don't know where to rank them. I think over under, if you gave me like 10 wins, I'd take the over. I think.
Well, you could make the argument too that like we could consider last year as like the bottom barrel essentially in terms of quarterback play potentially. I mean, even with the very mid quarterback play we got out of Penis last year, they were still 8-9.
It throws me off every time you call them that. Come on.
And I didn't even try to do it intentionally. It's only because of course.
CJ, your thoughts on the Falcons?
All right. So I think you guys are underestimating their biggest addition. Head coach and offensive wizard Kevin Stefanski. He won Coach of the Year twice with the Cleveland Browns. So clearly this is a guy who is not to be taken lightly, I'll tell you. And when you have all the weapons they have on their offense, like Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, an offensive line that can keep Penis upright.
Stop that. Stop that. Both of you.
Just tossing alley oops here, man. We're just tossing.
I had to.
I'm sorry, what are you guys tossing?
Alley oops, baby.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Like, so I like to keep them upright, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, with that, and Chuck, you mentioned that defense. That defense is good. That's a great, I really think it's got a lot of potential, but I got a problem.
What's the
It's
problem?
with their free agency. You see, in free agency, I'm going to go over some of the big ones. They brought in Brian Robinson Jr., Samson Ebukam, Aziz Ojolari, Christian Harris, Channing Tindall, Deshaun Hand, Austin Hooper as well, Tua Tagovailoa, right? Some of the big ones. You know what they all have in common? They're all on one-year deals. Literally, all of their big-name free agents are one-year rentals. Jahan Dotson at least is on a 2-year deal. Olamide Zacchaeus is on a 2-year deal. New kicker Nick Folk and new punter Jake Bailey are on 2- and 3-year deals respectively.
Old man Nick Folk.
Yeah, hey, he's still good though.
He's still automatic. He's still automatic within 40, baby.
Yeah. So do with that what you will. Their entire offseason is just handing out 1-year deals, but this draft class obviously didn't have a first-round pick because they shipped it off to LA for getting James Pierce last year, who, by the way, had 10.5 sacks, if I recall correctly. But unfortunately, he likes to break the law. But hey, if he can get his head screwed on right and, not do that again, it should be fine. I think it'll be fine, especially because he's not going to get punished at all. So the draft, they made the most of it by having their first-round pick. You got Avion Terrell, AJ Terrell's brother, as Tuck noted, in the second round. Round 3, Zachariah Branch out of Georgia, so he doesn't have to go too far, just going from Athens to Atlanta. Don't let him drive, though. Don't let Georgia players drive. No.
It's just the defensive guys. Just the defensive guys.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Zachariah Branch, here's the keys, buddy. Enjoy. Round 4, they got Oklahoma linebacker Kendall Daniels, a pick that I wasn't crazy about. Then you got Antario Thompson, defensive tackle from Washington, round 6. It's round 6. I can forgive a reach. But here's a steal. Harold Perkins, linebacker from LSU in round 6, and Ethan Oninawa, the offensive lineman from Ohio State in round 7. Overall, I think this was a pretty solid draft, and that and their army of 1-year rentals should supplement the Falcons for at least this year.
Yeah. All right. Over under 8.5.
Over.
Give me the over. I'm running the over.
I'll run the over. Yeah, I still think that we're not going to see the quarterback play that needs to be had, unfortunately, and this is going to be a 9-8 team, and they'll probably just with their luck because it's Atlanta, they'll probably end up finishing 9-8, but they get bounced from the playoffs in like week 15, week 16, and go on a run that they should have had like before they got eliminated.
So you think the offense, especially the quarterback play, is still going to be iffy?
Yeah.
Would you describe the quarterback play as soft, perhaps?
Yeah. Be pretty soft.
Placid,
even some would say.
Yeah.
I'm letting you guys know. I almost hit the button. I almost hit the button. Enough with these.
Right. Come on, you guys started it. I'm just finishing it.
I did not.
You know what? You need to laugh. You need to laugh, Tough. Like we, all of us, you gotta learn to laugh. That's the only way you're gonna make it in this world. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. So you know what? We gotta make some Michael Penis jokes, Mike Penix. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Moving on to the Buccaneers, finished 8-9, missed the playoffs. First time since Baker Mayfield had arrived that they've missed the playoffs.
It's the first time since 2019.
Yeah. First time under
Todd Bowles.
Yeah, under Todd Bowles. Thank you. For some reason, I was blanking. Defensively, they improved. Got Ruben Bain Jr. Really, the big loss that they had was letting Mike Evans walk to San Francisco. But another big move that they had was getting Alex Anzalone. In terms of defensively. But other than that, this was a team that was riddled with injuries last year. Mike Evans missed more time again. Chris Godwin wasn't 100%. I just dropped my flash drive. I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. That's why. Amika Egbuka was great for the first half and then seemed like he kind of got figured out. This was somehow they were still able to get the record they had with the injuries that they had, basically with Baker throwing to like his fourth and fifth wide receivers. I'm hoping as a dynasty fantasy owner of Chris Godwin, I'm hoping that he has a good full season of health and goes back to where he was at from the year prior or up to the year prior in years past. But I got a bad feeling that this is going to end up being another repeat as well. And probably going to say the same damn thing about Carolina. But if I were to choose a team that's going to win the division, it'd probably be Tampa Bay. Because I do see them being a 10 to 11 win team this year.
The Bucks being 10 or 11 wins. That really depends on health.
It does. It does.
It really depends on how good Baker Mayfield will play as well, because he played like an MVP in the first half, but then he fell back in the second half as well.
He was banged up too.
Yeah.
Depending on how healthy they can keep him.
He was forcing himself to play through injury again.
But now he's got like old man strength because he's now a dad. So who knows? Maybe.
I mean, credit to Baker, though. I mean, he was still top 10 in passing yards. He was still top 10 in passing touchdowns. Like, it was all still there, just outside the top 10 in QBR.
Yeah. I think he'll be hopefully he'll bounce back this upcoming year. I believe in Baker. Not even so much bounce back, just get back to like a better standard to play. I think Baker will be better. Hopefully they have a better O-line, I hope Ruben Bain plays well, because I didn't think he should have been waiting that long to be drafted. The fact that the Buccaneers got him next to Vita Vea is criminal. And Kalaji Kansi, that line is about to eat. And I'm just now thinking about, yep, they're going to be a problem. Even though they just lost the middle linebacker. He just retired. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Don't.
Levante David out of Nebraska legend, by the way.
Yes, he just retired, but I'm more concerned about like the outside, like the cornerback play. I hope Benjamin Morrison can be that guy that he was in college, and James Dean is solid, but I'm not sure. But all in all, I think they're good enough to win the division. But again, I've said that about all three teams we've talked about so far, and it doesn't make a difference. So over under, I think they do get like 10 wins, but just barely. I think 10-7, 11-6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the key for the Buccaneers this year is health. Their entire team, especially on offense, just got banged up. Baker was playing hurt. They were without Mike Evans for a lot of the time. Even Emeka Egbuka couldn't escape the injury bug. Chris Godwin was obviously hampered with injury to start. And he picked it up later, but still. It was just they never had all their guys healthy at the same time, and it showed. They ended up falling just short of the playoffs. Honestly, which is weird because they started out on that tear, but ever since they lost to New England about halfway through the season, it was just dead. Like the entire time, they just died right there, because I think they were like 6-2 at one point, and they ended the season at 8-9. You do the math on that one. That's brutal. That's not
they were 6-2 heading into that game.
Yeah, gross. And free agency, they didn't have a lot of money to play with, but they brought in Kenneth Gainwell and Ashawn Robinson, Alex Anzalone as well, and Jake Browning for some better backup play outright. So what I like for them is the draft. Ruben Bain at pick 15. Well, you guys know I love Ruben Bain, and I think he's going to eat. Then you got linebacker Josiah Trotter out of Missouri in round 2. Round 3, Georgia State wideout, very underrated Ted Hurst, the tall, lanky, vertical threat. Then, of course, round 4, you get Keontae Scott out of Miami. who can play outside or slot. Round 5, you got defensive tackle DeMonte Capar out of Clemson and guard Billy, I think it's Schraff out of Notre Dame. And in round 6, Bauer Sharp, the tight end from LSU. So overall, I think this is a really good draft class, and they are my pick to win the NFC South next year and probably save Todd Bowles' job in the process. But once again, it's health. That's all what it comes down to. Can they stay healthy? Somehow, I'm a little iffy on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And I mean, I'm kind of just looking at, I was more or less looking at Baker's numbers, but also from the back half of the season, he ended up the first 9 games of the year. He had 2 interceptions. The final 8 games, he had 9 interceptions. This is also a Bucs team that in two-thirds of the season were 1-score games. 2/3. Pretty insane stuff. And obviously this was, and half of those wins in those 1-score games came at the beginning of the season. After that, in 1-score games, they had 2 wins. The rest were losses. They were, let me do the math real quick. But 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5. They were 6-6 in 1-score games last year. Like I said, as you heard me counting it out, most of them were in the beginning of the year. So they need to fix that one up. Over under 8.5 wins. You guys heard me. I think 10 or 11, but if they can't stay healthy, they're looking at another 8-9 year, maybe even worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd say if anything, this is going to be a big year for Todd Bowles.
I'm inclined to agree.
Over under 8.5.
Over.
Run me the over.
Carolina, the winners of the NFC South, and boy, they gave the Rams hell on Wild Card Weekend.
Yes, they did.
This was a team that was so frustrating because I really wanted this team to do good and like consistently good as well. And we saw so many flashes of Bryce Young, and it was a matter of can they finally just go on a run, a good run? No. They gave us a hell of a wild card game to watch, thank God. But other than that, in terms of this year's edition of the Carolina Panthers, I'm hoping that there's a lot of improvement and that they can get themselves above that 8-win mark.
The Carolina Panthers. Where do we even begin with them? First off, I expect. Damn it!
This is a big year for Bryce Young, I think.
It is a big year for
Big
Bryce
year.
Young. It's a make or break year for Bryce Young. This will tell us whether or not they believe he is what we believe he will be. I think he has to take a step forward this year. This will make or break how they see him going forward. They tried several years before. He's been showing flashes here and there. More consistently this year, he stepped up in the playoffs. Now it's time. It feels like it's now time for him to decide what type of quarterback he wants to be. And so I think how well he does, I think how well he does is not important, but it's important in a way. I think they can still win without him because of how good that defense is. I think that defense is underrated, how sneaky good it is. Everyone was talking about the Texans and Denver. The Carolina Panthers has a scary good defense as well. They have pieces scattered here or there where they could be problems no matter who the team is. And they're schematically good. I could see that defense solely winning games for them. So the question is, it's not whether or not they can win games. It's going to be how many games they'll win because of the quarterback. That's where the importance comes in. I think he has enough weapons around him to do well. Xavier Legette is the wide receiver number 2. Tedero McMillan will be the number 1 for obvious reasons. The running back, the backfield is good because they have Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. I think they have the pieces in that offense to be competitive and outright win the division. Now it's just a matter for Bryce Young to show the flashes that we've seen and him to be more consistent. And if he can do that, I believe the Panthers are going to be a scary good team this year. It just depends on how far or how much development Bryce Young has made. So I think they can be a scary good team.
So, the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys already hit the nail right on the head. This year, it's all on Bryce Young. He has the future of himself and his franchise in his hands. You know, as far as a successful season for Bryce Young, there's a lot of debate, of course, as to what that could look like. But I want to see him get over 3,500 yards. Last year, he had a career high 3,011 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 picks. I would like to see Young get over 3,500 yards, hover around the vicinity of 24 to 25 touchdowns, and keep the interceptions in single digits. For me, that would be a successful season for him. And, of course, make the playoffs. It's going to be huge. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard this. He's actually gotten one of the cooler nicknames in the NFL. Maybe you've heard it. It's the Carolina Reaper.
Really?
That's the nickname they've been throwing around, and that's fucking sweet. I love that nickname. So yeah. So, dude, you got to live up to that. But that defense, you see how beefed up it got when they signed Devin Lloyd and Jalen Phillips. Beefed up the offensive line by grabbing Stone Forsythe, Luke Fortner, and Rasheed Walker. And they added A.J. Dillon to the backfield rotation as well. And just for shits and giggles, they got John Mechie to join as college quarterback. And, of course, the draft. They used Monroe Freeling, or they used their first-round pick on Monroe Freeling at 19. That's a great pickup. You know, him and Rasheed Walker on the left and right side, I think would be great. Lee Hunter, defensive tackle from Texas Tech, round 2, pick 49. Solid pickup. Chris Brazel, the second wide receiver, Tennessee. Will he finally break the Tennessee wide receivers curse? We can only hope. Round 4, Will Lee the third from Texas A&M. Round 5, Sam Hecht from Kansas State. He's a center. And a bit of a steal here is Zakee Wheatley, the Penn State safety. And in round 7, you got Mac Legend from Miami of Ohio, Jackson Kuwach. So, once again, this is a really good draft class. They have a good infusion of young talent and veterans from free agency. It's just, can they put it together? Chris, what's the over-under for Carolina?
8.5.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going under.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I really believe in Bryce Young. Maybe I'm just prejudiced against short quarterbacks, but like these guys, they're like 5'10" and under. Like, they're a little iffy to me. They always have been. Like, 6'1s, like, I think should be the cutoff. There are obviously exceptions to the rule, like Russell Wilson, but that's really it for me. Like, I don't know. Something about the Panthers, like they made the playoffs, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's time for them to take the step." And I agree, but a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're about ready to turn it around." And honestly, I think it's more of a Bryce Young thing than a Dave Canales thing. I think Dave Canales is a great head coach. I think at bare minimum he can be a solid one. But Young, I think they go 8-9 again.
Yeah, if anything, I think floor is 8-9 again. I think the issue is that I unfortunately see the ceiling as 9-8. Like they just do enough to compete for the division title and probably just barely miss a wild card spot, if anything.
Taking the over 10-7.
Okay.
I don't mind 10-7 either. I like the idea of 10-7. It's just I just want to see more consistent play. That's all.
Same here.
Yeah. All right. I have the Bucks winning it all for the division. What about you guys?
Same.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Bucks winning the division, or you have someone else?
I got
No, I
Tampa.
got the Bucks. I got the Bucks.
All right. That's all of our scheduled content, but let's do a tier list. Let's do a quick tier list.
All right. Yeah. So, guys, for those who don't know, we were talking off camera and we were like, oh, hey, a tier list. That would be pretty cool. So by we, I mean me, I was able to whip one up. And here we go. Drum roll, please. NFL quarterbacks. This isn't just who's going to be good. No. This tier list is how much pressure is on each quarterback going into next season. We have all the starters plus a few backups who could play. For those of you listening, I'll explain the tiers. Listening, not on YouTube. First up, the worst tier is do or die, as in your future's in your hands. You suck this year. It's over. Next, there's ice is thin. Like, you at least have another year if you stink it up this year, but your future's kind of iffy. Then there's step it up, which is you've shown flashes in some capacity, but I want to see more. It's now time to piece it all together. Then there's need a repeat, which is where you're coming off a really good year, but can you do it again? You know what I mean? Maybe guys are like 1 year wonders I want to see more from. Then just under that, there's you can handle it, which is maybe you have a small question mark or two, but I'm confident that you'll be fine. Then, of course, there's just you're fine. These guys are the known commodities of the football world. Sure, there's always pressure to be a starting quarterback, but these guys are safe with their current teams. And then the bottom tier is just show some flashes, where obviously this is like if you're a backup or a rookie or anything else, where if you want to stay in the league, you just have to show something, anything. Are we all good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go. First up is the reigning MVP, Matthew Stafford. You're fine. He's fine.
You're
Coming
good.
off MVP. Obviously, like I said, there's pressure on him to win another Super Bowl, but that's pressure for every quarterback. But he's fine,
I would argue maybe even say need a repeat because of the fact that this is now, we're looking at a team like the Rams that are pretty much expected to win the Super Bowl, if not 14 games.
But I'm still but he's fine.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He has nothing to prove. That's why I think you're fine.
Yeah, he does. You're right in the fact he does have nothing to prove.
Yeah. So I'm going to be honest, guys. Next up is Patrick Mahomes.
Just show some flashes.
No. I'm putting him in you can handle it. Because, look. It's the injury. We don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1. And on top of that, what people seem to forget is that pre-injury, he looked bad. He looked really bad. And honestly, if he stayed healthy the entire season, the Chiefs were missing the playoffs. They lost that game that he played 95% of. That was the game that got them bounced. So he's coming off, even with the injury, he had a down year, but he'll be fine. The injury is the only reason why he's not in your fine and why he's in you can handle it. Next, Joe Burrow.
Step it up.
No, Tom.
This is a weird one because the issue is that he can't stay healthy. So it's outside of him having injuries, he still performs as a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's plays like a top 5, top 6 quarterback in the league, but he just cannot stay healthy.
Yep.
This is another one where I think you can handle it, especially that the Bengals defense and offensive line have improved. But the injuries are such a concern for me. Next, Lamar Jackson. Think we're all in agreement. You're fine.
Yeah.
Especially that new coach. Same thing for Josh Allen, who's up next. You're good.
I don't think they're both fine.
I still think that there's pressure on both of those guys.
Yeah,
so
that's why I'm
pressure, but their futures are safe, is what I mean. There's
Yeah,
always going to be pressure if you're a starting quarterback. It's almost like I said that.
but for
Yeah.
those two in particular and Joe Burrow, I feel step it up would be where
Yeah.
they should be.
Just because of the caliber and like
Ah.
when you look at the three quarterbacks, like Josh Allen has had the majority of the playoff runs here, but like the playoff runs that are in question have always fluttered out into nothingness.
Yeah. Brock Purdy is up next.
Need a
Hot take. He's one where I do want to repeat, you know? Like
Yeah.
you were balling out without your stars, but now with a healthy team, knock on wood, do it again.
same thing with Sam Darnold.
Yep. Sam Darnold's up next, reigning Super Bowl winning quarterback. I want to repeat. Show me you're not a one and done. Do it again.
Drake
Yeah.
May, same thing.
Yeah, Drake May, second in MVP voting. Now, there's a lot of uneducated knuckle draggers that are saying, oh, it's just the schedule. Even though, he did throw for 3 touchdowns on the Texans defense. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, I want to repeat out of Drake May just as a fan. Dak.
Especially when you consider all the improvements to the wide receiver room too.
Absolutely. Dak.
You're
I'm
fine.
debating need a repeat because he was really good last year, and you can handle it.
I
Yeah,
think
but he's
that
always had good seasons like that.
Yeah.
I think-
Honestly, then Dak can handle it. I think he can handle it. He had a sneaky good season last year. I genuinely think he's probably in the MVP conversation if the Cowboys end up making the playoffs. And he should be in the MVP conversation this year. And as someone who's not a Cowboys fan, I'm going to tell you that's just the way it is. Jared Goff. Dude, I'm
you can
sorry.
handle it.
Step it the fuck up.
Why does he have to step it up? He played good last year.
Yeah, he did, but I will counter with, they didn't make the playoffs, and they were the 1 seed the year before last season, and they got bounced.
yeah,
his
unfortunately.
Like, I want to see more, not to mention, just hear me out. There's literal, just walk with me here. There's a lot of talk around Jared Goff, good but not great, system quarterback. He'll get you to the playoffs, not that much farther. Like maybe he's very team and scheme reliant. I want to see him take that next step. He's been flirting with that, top 5, top 6 quarterback. He keeps flirting with that line. I want to see him actually cross it. Please, Jared Goff. There's no reason you shouldn't.
And unfortunately, too, I mean, when you talk about that first round exit that he had, the defense gave up 40 fucking points, but let's not forget he also had 3 interceptions in that game.
He did, yes.
And I'll give him some credit too. He was second in passing yards, second in passing touchdowns. He was had 8 interceptions on the year too. His QBR was middle of the pack. The unfortunate thing about Jared Goff is when you put him into discourse, it's always going to be, as you said, he's a system quarterback, and that's going to be how it is every single year that they need to see him step it up. Yeah, the stats are pretty, but when you look at how some of these games went along for Detroit, quarterback play was missing.
True. Yeah. Next up, Justin Herbert. For the love of Christ, step it up. No playoff wins. Social media quarterback. We've done this to death.
And that's not even to say, Justin Herbert is the franchise quarterback of the Chargers. He's going to be there for probably his entire career, regardless of his playoff success. But it'll always be a step it up type of thing for me too.
All right. We got an iffy one up next. Jalen Hurts.
You can handle it.
I'm not going to lie.
It can't be step it up. He's already proven he can step it up.
But even then, he's proven he can step it up. But even with, and there was a lot of different factors with the Eagles last year in terms of the OC, in terms of the offense, and the issue is that Jalen Hurts is always going to be at the center of it, regardless of who's calling the plays. So part of me thinks that it's also step it up, regardless of that ring or not.
What if we go need a repeat, as in from his Super Bowl year?
Okay.
That's the thing. I want to see that again. However, if he sucks for a second straight year, his ass is going to end up in ISIS thin because there are a lot of Philly sports pundits calling for his job already. Up next, Jordan Love. Hot take, step it up, please.
I'm not sure that's a hot take.
Okay, because a lot of people like him, but he's just never really passed the eye test for me. I know his stats are good, but he's like remember we were talking about Caleb Williams last week and how I said his stats are so iffy, but he just aces the eye test. Love is the inverse. Love puts up good numbers, but God, he makes it look difficult.
But guys, Toyota-thon.
Yeah, not last year. No Toyota-thon for him.
I'm a Jordan Love guy. I do think that step it up is not a bad spot for him. Yeah, I could see him being in the middle of step it up and need a repeat, but it's just so weird because I do think that it's, in terms of the Packers, it's not necessarily the Jordan Love problem. You could say it's a coaching problem at that rate, but I wouldn't mind putting him in the step it up part, especially where he is in his career now.
Up next, Baker Mayfield.
You can handle it?
Yeah, you can handle it. Last year was largely due to injuries. And when we talk about our issues with the Bucs, it's not about Mayfield, it's about Bowles.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next, Aaron Rodgers. Hot take. Just show some flashes.
That's not
I don't care.
He ain't got it like that.
He's a future first ballot Hall of Famer, arguably a top 5 quarterback of all time. Like, nobody... He doesn't have to prove anything anymore. Just don't go out with a whimper. Just show some flashes. You'll be good.
Man, I don't know what a future first ballot quarterback looks like anymore. Just say future Hall of Famer. I don't know what a first ballot Hall of Famer looks like.
Okay, cool. All right, Trevor Lawrence. I want to repeat. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
Whenever he has a good year, which he has had before, do we ever trust him to follow it up with another similarly good year? No, I don't. And I said this I believe I said this when we were talking about the AFC South. It's like, I think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, but do we really expect him to do it again? I think he should do it again, but that's why I'm putting him here. I need a repeat. Please, it's like Jalen Hurts. Please string 2 good years together. Thank you.
Yeah, never mind years. It's just games.
Yeah.
To be honest, there's a lot of just consecutive games where he doesn't put up that extra good game or just string along more wins. Yeah, they won the division. But when you really look at Trevor Lawrence, he doesn't string together good games consistently.
That's correct. But I think we're all in agreement. Kyler Murray.
Do or die.
Yeah. Do or die, buddy. Do or die. If you suck with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson, then it's curtains. Lights out, buddy.
Yeah. I would agree with that as well.
Jaden McDaniel.
Jaden Daniels. I want to repeat. You were hurt a lot last year. Show me what you
rookie season.
His rookie year,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams, once again, same reason as Drake May. I need a repeat.
I would honestly argue step it up just because of because he's now got this he's got this expectation to crack 4,000 and
I can see step it up. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, statistically, he wasn't that great. So, dude, no, not even need a repeat. I don't want a repeat. Actually, step it up. Play 4 quarters of football, not 2. Thank you.
I would be willing to put him right in that middle of step it up and need a repeat because you're not wrong. He was just south of 4,000. With the quarterback play that they had last year with him, they still won the division. So I wouldn't even mind putting him right in the middle, but I think the general thing for me is step it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Bo Nix.
You can handle it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, step it up. I think he was telling him to step it up because he was injured in the AFC divisional game. Didn't play in the championship.
like he's shown flashes. Like I don't think we're quite in need of repeat tier, but he has a very high floor.
I low key am thinking need a repeat. I mean, if we're talking Trevor Lawrence the way we're talking about him, I feel like we got to talk about it the same way about Bo next year.
Mhm.
Yep. Fair
He
enough.
didn't even crack 4,000.
No, he didn't. You're right.
Now he
All
was
right.
also like Caleb Williams of just being south of it, but the Broncos, just like the Jaguars, were team. Yeah, the Broncos won games, but that was also a team where it was like, what the fuck is this offense?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Daniel Jones, very weird.
Vanilla Vic strikes again.
I don't even know if he's going to play at all this year.
Yeah,
Need a
that's
repeat.
Nah, I don't know.
I think need a repeat.
Because granted, they gave him a lot of money, but it's only a 2-year extension, and one of them is going to be an injury here.
And
so this is a glorified 1-year deal that he's getting.
So
Hot
need
take,
a repeat.
I think the ice is thin. I don't think it's a do or die, but
it's a glorified prove it year.
Yeah, this is a prove year. I think the ice is thin. Like I don't think the situation's dire, but because I obviously wanted to keep him around, but it's a little iffy for him over there.
Speaking of stepping it up.
Up next,
Speaking
CJ
of ice is
Stroud.
thin, to be honest.
CJ,
I didn't want to put him there
this
yet.
is do or die for CJ Stroud. Like
I don't think it's do or die for him yet. I think it's ice is thin or step it up.
We know what he can do. We know it, but he hasn't been able to do it. I'll agree that the ice is thin for him at bare minimum.
I'd be down to put him in do or die next year. That's for sure.
Yeah, okay. If he sucks this year, because I do know they picked up his 5th-year option. So at minimum, they got 2 more years. So if they declined it, I would say do or die. But you know what? Cooler heads have prevailed. The ice is getting pretty thin, to quote what's his they're called? Smash Mouth. There we go. But okay, Bryce Young. Would it be wrong to put him there?
No, I don't think so either. I think when you think of both CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, they've always been in the same conversation. And lo and behold, they're in the same conversation of like, what the hell are we going to expect from the both of them this year?
Yeah, but one seems like they're regressing. The other one seems like he's progressing.
But that's just vibes. I will not lie to you. The vibes in Carolina are much better than the vibes in Houston. That's just the way it is. But
I guess it's because the expectations
right now, I do not. I'm not confident.
Yeah, especially because we're in year 4 for both of these guys, and as you mentioned, CJ Stroud is the one that's regressing. Bryce Young, yeah, he seems like he's progressing, but like it's probably an extremely slow progression. Yeah, he had his best year, but this is the best year. His 3rd year ends up being his best year. You could even say need a repeat, step it up, but I also think that this could be the maker. As we were talking about during our division preview, this is the year that it's going to be make or break for him.
Yep.
You're right. So up next we have Tyler Shuck of
Step it up, buddy.
States. Yeah, it's step it up. Because here's the thing. He wasn't a 1st-round pick, meaning that he does not have that 5th-year option. And since he wasn't a 1st-round pick, there's no incentive to treat him like one either. And not to mention that he came into the league on the older side. There's, the wiggle room is not as much as perhaps it would be if he's a younger 1st-round pick.
Yeah,
especially on what's coming up, what could be a very stacked quarterback class in this upcoming draft. Nobody's irreplaceable.
Yeah, he's low-key playing for his career, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins, dude, just show some flashes. You're not there to be the long-term guy.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
Cam Ward,
you're fine.
Nah.
There's
expectations now in Tennessee.
What expectations?
The offensive overhaul.
I don't expect them to be a playoff team. I expect Cam to be Cam.
Well, yeah, I'm expecting him to step it up more. Like maybe crack 4,000 yards. Maybe have a few more touchdowns. Like we know he can do it, but I want to see him do it consistently. This is a growth year for him, so step it up.
Yeah.
Malik Willis.
You're
They
fine.
just paid him, but we know he's probably not the long-term answer. This is very weird.
I'd just put him in, just show some flashes, just because where the freaking Dolphins are expected to be.
No, you're right. Mac Jones.
We're not doing Mac Jones. I can't be fucking asked. He's a backup.
Yeah, a few of these guys are if they do end up playing, but yeah, I don't see.
I think the issue though is if
They
we're
might trade
considering
him,
Brock Purdy's injury history, we're going to see some Mac Jones this year.
Yeah. So just in case, I would say to show some flashes. Do what you did last year, and you're showing.
Yeah. Jackson Dart, I'd probably say also in the middle of need a repeat and step it up, but I'd probably lean more step it up because he is now a bona fide starter for the Giants. They improved this year. They got all their guys back. And, well, biggest thing really is that Jackson Dart needs to not play like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're right. Up next is Jacoby Brissett.
In Arizona. Just show some flashes. I don't expect him
that
to
or a
do-
repeat because he looked pretty good last year. but
Yeah,
they
he
don't-
wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. Yeah, they only won 3 games, but I mean, some of those games he played pretty solid.
Mendoza, no.
Yeah, Mendoza, just show some flashes. You're a rookie.
Yeah.
Geno
Really?
Smith.
He's the Jets quarterback, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
die.
do or die. He's playing for, at this point, he's not playing to win. He's playing more so for his next contract. Show that you can be a good bridge quarterback, Because if you fail at this, then you're probably not going to be brought in to be a bridge quarterback again.
Yeah, he's in a weird spot too, where it's like we're kind of in that cusp of like he is on the much older side now of quarterbacks in the league, so he really doesn't have much time left to begin with.
Yeah, literally this season could be the difference if he gets another contract or not.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy.
do we really have to cover him?
Well, yeah, because if Kyler sucks, then he could.
Do or die.
Do or
Yeah,
die?
it's do or die.
Tua, thin ice.
Yeah, same thing. Because Tua, I think, has more potential than McCarthy at this stage, especially with that. Well, you know what I mean. As far as what we know Tua is capable of, but it's looking grim for him.
Yeah, you may as well put Penix there too.
Yeah, Penix.
Yeah, Penix also the ice is thin for him. It's not as bad as McCarthy, but it's pretty bad. Up next, Ty Simpson. I don't think he's going to play, but if he does,
You may as well not even put him in the tier list
Exactly.
if he's not seeing the field.
yeah,
Unless Matthew Stafford gets carried off, he's not seeing the field.
and even still, allegedly he might be QB3. Next is Shador Sanders.
I'm not even sure they want him to see the field.
I'd say I think just from Shador being Shador, I'd low-key ice is thin.
Yeah, I do think the ice is thin. He's got to.
And
He
it's
didn't.
not even
Blow,
his
he
fault.
didn't set the world on fire last year. So, Anthony Richardson.
Do or die.
Do or
It
die.
literally is, but not for the reason you think. It's kind of like Geno Smith, where you don't really have a future with your current team. Granted, Richardson is much younger, but once again, stay with me. It's in the sense that he's playing for his next contract. He could very well be out of the league if he does not perform well in the absence of Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably going to be some dumbass team to take a flyer on him anyways, regardless. But
Then, of course, oh, brother, Deshaun Bad Touch Watson.
do or die.
This is do or die. This is very much do or die. Because I don't know if you guys know this. This season is the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
So he's another one where his future with the Browns is non-existent, but it's another case, like I said, with Richardson and Geno Smith, where flat out he's playing for his next deal.
Yeah, I think just never mind like the rape shit and all that. You count his terrible time with Cleveland, but I think if you even account Bill O'Brien's comments from when he was in Houston and how they were like, yeah, we were basically just playing with his college playbook, and now he's actually playing an NFL playbook, and he sucks. So,
and just for fun, here's Justin Fields, because we don't know if Mahomes is going to be starting week 1.
ISIS
thin.
Yeah, the ice is thin for him, because if he does play, then he has to look good.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, too, he still ends up getting used in a lot of like different run scenarios too. Like with the Jets, the Steelers, they used him in a lot of option games. So, yeah.
Also, do you want to rank Carson Beck? Because I think there's a greater chance he plays than Ty Simpson, especially if something happens to Brissett.
Yeah.
I would put him in just show some flashes. So yeah, there you have it. That's our tier list.
Nice. All right. I like it.
I'm solid with it.
Yeah, everybody else, for those of you watching on YouTube, all these other quarterbacks, I don't even think they're going to see the field unless like QB 1 and 2 goes down. Some of them I don't even think are on teams. So right now, this is our tier list.
Yeah. All right.
So, yeah.
Very nice. Well, that'll cap off a longer episode for you folks at home, but hey, considering it's off season and we were able to find a lot of shit to talk about, I'd say we did another good job here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we want to touch on before we end the show?
Nope.
Cool. That'll do it for us today. Thank you for tuning in to another Tuesday episode of the Fumblerooski podcast. New episode we're coming out next Tuesday at 8 a.m. where we'll talk about the NFC South and our top 5 quarterbacks. Then after that, we'll be neck deep into training camp. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we also have all our episodes available on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. Also, be sure to follow our Instagram, Fumblerooski_podcast. Keep up with the pod and the latest coverage on the NFL. Otherwise, we'll see you next Tuesday. Go USA. Over and out.
See.